Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a financial education program from the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office. I'm your host, Gina Joins. Along with the daily banking functions of the State Treasurer's Office, Treasurer Perdue is responsible for overseeing several public programs that serve the people of West Virginia. Programs like the SMART5.29 College Savings Plan and the Unclaimed Property Division. While these programs help people in West Virginia save and recover their money on a daily basis, there are also new initiatives developed by the Treasurer's Office in recent years that are allowing others to benefit from SMART5.29 and the Unclaimed Property Program in very unique ways. Later in today's show, we're going to see how law enforcement are turning over the overflow of evidence rooms into revenue, and with the help of the Unclaimed Property Division, that's happening. But first, the Treasurer's Office coming up on the third annual SMART5.29K Run-Walk. This is a fundraiser aimed at helping kids adopted from foster care in West Virginia kickstart the funding for the future of their education. Kim Ward takes a look back at how this event is growing annually, which means more kids are reaping the benefits.
For children who spend time in foster care, the odds of getting a college degree are statistically against them. Treasurer Perdue created the Smart Start Awards program to try and change those statistics here in West Virginia.
That's what the Smart 529 program is about, changing kids' lives all over the state.
For parents, the college savings accounts funded by proceeds from the Smart 5.29K Run-Walk help them play catch-up for savings that may have been missed while the child was in foster care.
It's an amazing program, and we feel blessed that we found it, and that, it helps the resources for our son to be able to go to college.
Life in foster care can be turbulent and is often unstable. For a child with a past like that, knowing their newly adoptive parents are building a strong foundation for their future can be reassuring.
To me, he's got the same potential as anyone's birth child. The fact that he had to be in foster care, to me, shouldn't inhibit his future in any way, and it's our job as his parents to make sure that doesn't happen, and that's exactly what we plan to do.
Treasurer Perdue knows firsthand how a stable family and a college education can change a person's life.
My wife was a foster child. She had great parents, just like you have. And she had an opportunity to go to college and changed her life.
To start this unique opportunity to help fund the future for kids adopted from foster care, Treasurer Perdue partnered with Frameworks, a Mission West Virginia program that assists families with the foster and adoption process across the state.
We know there are a lot of kids who are in care who are really smart and really driven, and we want to help them achieve an education.
In 2 years, 19 children have benefited from the Smart Start Awards, each receiving $1,200 invested into a Smart 529 account. And with another Smart 5.29K Run-Walk scheduled for May 20th of this year, the hope is to raise even more to help funding the future for West Virginia children adopted from foster care. Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
So much fun. Well, Stephanie Adkins is one of the parents Kim highlighted in her video. Her son Ethan was one of the first Smart Start recipients, and she joins me now to talk more about the upcoming Smart 5.29K Run-Walk. Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us. We're happy to have you here today, and you've really grown with this program in its third year. You've had a lot of roles, but let's just start by simply talking about your story so that people can understand who is benefiting from this Run-Walk and the money that's raised through this charity event, and just tell us a little bit about your situation, your children, and the fact that you're both a foster parent and an adoptive parent as well.
Yes, when we first started looking at our options for growing our family, we considered private adoption, which comes with a lot of expense and different challenges. So we did some research and found the foster adoption program through the state of West Virginia, and we have adopted Ethan, our little boy, and we are in the process of adopting a little girl as well that we should have final within the next few months.
And it's got to be a big decision for a parent and a family to make, to take those steps, but talk a little bit about why you feel that was a decision worth it for your family.
It's absolutely a risky situation. You invest a lot of an emotional investment, and you can possibly get attached to children that may not stay with you forever, but it's very rewarding at the same time. Even whether that child's with you for a week or for the rest of their lives, you know that you're making a difference. You're getting them out of a situation that for whatever reason is not good for them, and you're helping them through that phase of their life, and it's very, very rewarding.
Definitely rewarding for the child as well, I'm sure. And before Ethan was even awarded one of the Smart Start Awards, he was a recipient the first year. You spoke on behalf of foster and adoptive parents at the first 5.29K that was started. Why did you decide to get involved in that, and why did you decide that that was an important function for you to support?
It's really the first program of its kind in our area that I've ever been aware of that addressed a specific need of the foster community with the poor higher education rates that foster care children have. This really addresses a very specific need and helps solve a big problem that is evident across children who have been in foster care.
Sure, so. Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about the partnership. So the Treasurer's Office has partnered with Frameworks Mission West Virginia. It's a program that assists families with the foster care and adoptive process, and they are helping to award 529 accounts that are established from this fundraiser. You obviously feel very passionate about raising awareness for this, and you decided to get even more involved in Mission West Virginia's purpose and the Frameworks program particularly. Talk a little bit about that and how you've evolved with getting to know that program and getting more involved with it.
Well, after my involvement at the first race and speaking there, I kind of made some connections with some of the employees at Mission West Virginia, and they asked me to be a board member. So I've been a board member for about a year now and was just elected the president of the board actually at our last meeting. So, anything that I can do to share our experience and encourage others to help in any way they can, I'd love to have the opportunity to do that.
And now as a representative, maybe you can explain to us a little bit better the role that Frameworks really plays when it comes to the foster care system in our state. What is their role?
Their role is to connect potential foster families with resources. The state of West Virginia used to handle kinship families and also just regular foster families, but kinship care has gotten so prevalent that the state now only handles that, and all other foster families are connected to private agencies who handle their cases. So Frameworks in Mission West Virginia will help you through that process, help connect you to a private agency, help you figure out what training you need, what paperwork you need to fill out. They will check up with you throughout the process to see if you've encountered any issues, if you have any questions, and just really guide you through that process of getting certified and helping you get
so Frameworks,
a child.
It potentially serves as a middleman for the foster care families and the foster children and the agencies that they have to work with. They also do assist with the adoption process as well to some extent. Can you explain how that relationship works?
They work with a program through the Dave Thomas Foundation with Wendy's. It's called Wendy's Wonderful Kids. So they have a few people in the office who work with this program, and they take a small caseload, 20 children apiece, and these are children who've been in foster care for 5+ years, who are hard to place because they're older, because of their ethnic background or a larger sibling group, and for whatever reason are hard to place. And they work closely with those children to try to find a permanency plan for them, whether that's a positive role model in their life, a teacher that they've become close to, or anyone, a coach that may potentially be an adoptive family, and they try to work, they do research and see if they can find other potential family members, and really just try to help these kids who are at risk of not finding permanency and try to get them into an adoptive home.
And, you know, talking about how this all evolved, Treasurer Perdue feels very passionately about helping the foster care and adoptive community. And it's an issue that he has said in the past is close to his heart. His wife was adopted out of the foster care system in the state, and it's a program that he has said he wants to continue to grow. So this is a big problem, though, in our state, that we have so many children in the foster care system, and that it's such an intricate process to work with these children to get them host families and foster families, and to then get them adopted. Can you talk a little bit about just the numbers and how big of a problem this is, and what kind of, you know, I hate to call it a problem, but there's such a need, a real need for people to step up and get more involved in this process.
Yeah, on any given day, there are over 5,300 children in West Virginia that are in foster care. So, and with, you know, with the drug issues and the drug epidemic in the state, that number is going to continue to grow. And so foster families are always needed, and encourage, you know, people to look into that as an option if they think that's something they may be able to do.
If they think that is an option, how do they start that process? Where do you go, and what do you do?
The Mission West Virginia website, missionwv.org, and there are, if they click on the frameworks tab, there's a form that they can fill out to request information. They can be sent an information packet on the process, and they can also, there's a phone number on there, they can also call and speak to someone directly if they'd rather do that.
So really go to the website, call Mission West Virginia. They can start pointing you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And it's probably not as hard as some people think it is when
it's really
you get started.
No, the process, you know, paperwork, obviously, but really other than that, you've got a few hours of training to do and a home study where they'll, you know, come in and just make sure that your home is safe for a child, just basic things, and you know, your background check. It's not a hard process for, you know, to go through. So
we're talking about foster care and adoption, and of course that leads us to the SMART5.29K Run-Walk, which is trying to raise money to get these children in the foster care system who were recently adopted out of the foster care system, get college savings accounts started in their name. That's what it's all about, is creating these 529 college savings accounts. And there are some pretty startling statistics. The national statistics that I was given from Framework shows that about 20% of kids who grow up in the foster care system graduate from high school and attend college. Of that 20%, only 9% complete a bachelor's degree. So Stephanie, I don't know if you have any insight to this, but can you explain to us why these numbers are so low? I mean, one can definitely guess that this is a hard situation for some of these children to be in.
Absolutely. You have children who are, you know, suffer the after effects of emotional, physical, sexual abuse in some cases for years, which presents its own challenges. And then I think overall, just a lot of these children have been in numerous foster homes. They've switched schools numerous times. When you switch schools, you switch curriculums. So they just don't have a solid foundation. And some of these children also age out of foster care without a permanency plan. So if you're an 18-year-old who's just graduated high school and you don't have a parent, you know, usually your parent is the one who sits down with you and helps you fill out college applications and financial aid. And if you don't have that support system, it's very difficult to navigate your way through that on your own. So,
and you know, that's why I kind of want to talk about this in the terms of the hope that this type of program and award can bring to these families and these children. It really is about hope. I mean, when you talk about this, once they start a college savings account, a 529 account, do you think that really starts to give them some momentum and some hope?
I think it gives them a hope. I think it gives them a sense that someone believes in them and says, I know that you're capable of doing this, and therefore I'm going to make an investment in your future. And you know, it's a huge boost to their morale, I think.
And we've had some great success with this. We've raised enough in just the past 2 years. I think the awards have totaled more than $20,000 in SMART5.29 College Savings Plan. That's got to be huge for these parents who are getting over $1,000 invested into a SMART5.29 plan.
Absolutely. It basically doubled Ethan's account when he got his award. We had started his SMART5.29 with money that we received at his adoption party when his adoption was finalized, and his award basically doubled our initial contribution. So,
and tell me about getting the award. You had to apply. While you were at the Run-Walk, that wasn't a guarantee that he was going to be a winner.
Right.
You had to go through an application process, and there are judges that are, you know, independent of both organizations that work to judge these and make sure that there's a selection process.
Right. Yeah, there was a basic application and then also an essay portion that just where they wanted you to discuss just the importance of education and what you would do as a parent to, you know, try to encourage your child to get a higher education. And then, like you said, it was all judged and selections made based on that information. So.
All right, Stephanie. Well, we are going to take a quick break right now. But when we come back, Stephanie and I will talk about the upcoming SMART 5.29K race, how you can get registered, and how you can help even if you can't make it through a 5K. There are plenty of ways to help. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up. Stay with us.
Babies are expensive. Formula, diapers, daycare. That's just the first year. Oh, wish you could start saving for college now? The Piggy Bank Fairy is granting wishes of college savings to new parents by contributing $100 when you open a SMART 529 account.
Enroll in West Virginia's SMART 529 Bright Babies program before your child's first birthday or Gotcha Day, and we'll contribute $100 into your SMART 529 college savings account.
Wishes do come true. Register in the first year, so when they sit up, it's time to sign up.
To learn about SMART 529, its investment objectives, risks, and costs, read the official statement available from SMART529.com. Check with your home state to learn if it offers tax or other benefits for investing in its own 529 plan.
Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joins. I'm here today talking with Stephanie Adkins. Stephanie is a foster parent. She's an adoptive parent, and she's also an advocate for foster families here in West Virginia. We're talking about the SMART 5.29K Run-Walk. It's an event sponsored by the State Treasurer's Office to raise money to help establish college savings plans for children adopted from the foster care system right here in West Virginia. And this is something that was started about 3 years ago. The SMART 5.29K Run-Walk this year is on May 20th. It's at Appalachian Power Park in Charleston. You can learn more about that event by going to the website wvtreasury.com. I do want to point out that indeed this is a 5K, but it's really a 5.29K to tie in with our theme. That means it's just a little bit more than a 5K, so for runners it is a unique event, but we do have a lot of walkers as well. Stephanie, you've been at the race before. Tell us about what your experience has been just walking the race with your family and seeing all these runners and seeing all this energy go through the streets of Charleston.
Yeah, the course is great. It's not, you know, huge hills. It's easy for people who are not everyday runners. We walked last year with both our little ones and some family members, and it's a very just relaxed, great atmosphere and a really great time.
And it is a fun day for the runners. I think there's something for everyone. As I was trying to say earlier, for the runners, it's a great course to run, but it's also a great course to walk. The cost to register for the race right now is $30. It will be $35 the morning of the race, but we really encourage people to register early. And you can go to, you see it on your screen, wvtreasury.com to register for the SMART 5.29K. Almost all that money goes goes towards this cause of creating college accounts, savings accounts for children adopted out of the foster care system. All the registration costs minus a $3 race fee goes into those accounts, as well as much of the sponsorship money for the event. How can people help? That's really a question I have for you, Stephanie. If they want to get invested in this, if they want to participate, there are lots of ways to do it. Absolutely.
You know, with the race, if you're able to walk, sign up. Like I said, the course is not a hard course for a walker. If you're not able to walk, then there's also the option through the race sign-up page to just make a donation. So, you know, that any donations would go directly into the funds for the scholarships.
And we found that I think the donations have been picking up. People really enjoy the option that it's pretty. It's very easy. All you do is go online, go to the website. It directs you to a donation page, and you can just do that with your credit card. You can also sign up that way. So a lot of different options. But there's also a pre-race event, and this is really, we talk about how this all evolved, and the pre-race packet pickup event is kind of what started out a few years ago. On May 29th, 529, we did an ice cream social, and we still tie that in now with the race, even though it's not on May 29th every year. This year, we're having an ice cream social at packet pickup, so people can come on down to the Capitol Market in Charleston from 4 to 6 p.m. on May 19th. All they need to do is come and talk to the people at the tables and get their voucher for some Ellen's ice cream, which is a great event. You attend that as well every year.
Yes, we do.
And talk a little bit about that part of it, just what the vibe's like when they have the packet pickup, and what that is really for.
It's really just a chance for the runners and walkers to, you know, meet some of the event staff and just get prepared and be ready for the race the next morning. And it's a great opportunity for people with children to bring them. It's, you know, it's a fun, laid-back evening at the packet pickup. So I think it would be a great opportunity. We've had lots of runners in the past couple years that have signed up, but I would really encourage foster parents and adoptive parents. You know, it's a great event for them to sign up as well. You know, it could, the first year that we did it, you know, it ended up helping our child when we applied for the scholarship and were awarded. So, you know, it's a great thing to be a part of, and a great group of people to be around and just bond with and talk with and make some connections in that community. So, and there's also, so the packet pickup again is on May 19th, 4 to 6 at the Capitol Market. The race itself is I think 8 o'clock in the morning is when it starts at the West Virginia Power Park on the third baseline is where everybody is meeting, and that's going to be a great event that usually lasts about an hour or so to get everybody through the run, a little bit over that. But it's a fun time for people. It's a great thing. All they have to do is sign up and show up that day. There's also another event going on at the Power Park that same day, the Walk With Me event that ties into this as well. Can you talk a little bit about what that is? Sure. Mission West Virginia also is one of the sponsors of that event, and it's really a celebration of you know, National Foster Care Month, and they have a lot of different activities for kids: face painting, games, popcorn, cotton candy, and it's really just a way for people to get together and celebrate. And they have some different organizations there where you can find information if you're interested in foster care. They have usually someone from the Treasurer's office is there with information on the SMART5.29 program. So it's really just a great communication and networking event, and like I said, great for the kids. They have a great time. Well, before we go, I just want to, one last time, if you could tell us how people can get more information if they're interested in foster care or adoption here in the state of West Virginia. MissionWestVirginia.org, and then click on the frameworks page, and on there you will find a button to request information, or you can also find the phone number and call directly and speak to someone if you'd rather.
All right, and again, go to wvtreasury.com for more information on the SMART 5.29K Run-Walk. We hope to see you there. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for joining us today. We appreciate it very much. Well, switching gears now, the Treasurer's Unclaimed Property Division has been returning money to individuals, businesses, and organizations around the state for years. But thanks to a change in legislation in recent years, the Treasurer's Office now has a way to help those who serve and protect our communities. Kim Ward explains how law enforcement is benefiting from this program.
The State Treasurer's Office just held its third unclaimed property firearms auction.
The gun market is what it is today, and there's tremendous value in firearms. And so we're tapping into that market and repurposing that money back to the law enforcement agencies.
The firearms sold at these auctions all originate from law enforcement.
We have roughly 300 evidence rooms from all the law enforcement agencies in the state of West Virginia, and they acquire firearms for a number of different reasons. And those firearms lose value, evidentiary value. In other words, they're not needed for court, and oftentimes people are not entitled to get them back, or insurance companies pay off and don't want the firearms, or they simply know that they're firearms that are stolen, but they're unable to locate an owner, and they stay oftentimes decades in these evidence rooms, and they just become property that keeps these evidence rooms just like they turn into trash cans, literally.
Turning the weapons over to the Treasurer's Unclaimed Property Division for auction not only cleans out valuable space in law enforcement buildings, it gives them an opportunity to generate some much-needed revenue.
And then we're able to auction these off and put the money back in our police departments all over the state to allow them to buy safety equipment to be able to protect themselves as well as defend the citizens of the state.
The auctions are open only to federal firearms dealers, giving them an opportunity to buy weapons at wholesale price and sell them for a profit. For law enforcement, these proceeds may mean the difference between life and death.
Law enforcement is becoming more and more dangerous, more and more technical, and with that, more and more expensive to equip officers in training, equipment, safety equipment. And this provides a revenue stream for them to help equip those officers to keep them safe.
The K-9 unit is coming, with all the drug problems of the state, is coming a big unit in the police departments all over this state. And this gives the opportunity for them to be able to get those dogs, to be able to increase that K-9 unit in their departments to really protect the citizens here in the state of West Virginia.
Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
And that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or just go to our website. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joins with the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office.